Guys, I'm joined by the incredible director, writer, Aditya Kripalani, and he's going to talk to us about the film I'm Not an Actor, starting with his creative journey, his thought, and how he done the film. Hi, Aditya, sir, how are you?
Fine. Cold London.
Cold London, of course, of course. Well, it's great to have you here. How are you feeling now that the film has been, premiered at the Bradford International Film Festival?
I'm glad that, so when you write something in your own language many years before, and when after a cinematographer has interpreted it and a actor has interpreted it, and after all that, when a year later, or months later, you see someone from another country who's not from your cultural background, also feeling the same things that you wrote on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
you feel nice. So in that sense, it was a successful premiere.
Yeah, because I definitely loved the film, as I've described it in my review, and I really loved the storytelling behind the film. So, to talk about the film itself and the storytelling, how did you come up with that concept in your mind?
My partner's a banker, and I've often seen that people who work in 9 to 5 jobs see the life of artists in a strange way from the outside. There's some judgment, and there isn't much understanding of it. And artists see the lives of people who do 9 to 5 jobs in the same manner, corporate people who work for corporate sector.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just explore that, uh, put them together and see how they feel about being with each other, in some sense, as characters.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, we're talking about Nawazuddin Siddiqui's role, and he's such a versatile actor. I mean, I've seen him with Munna Bhai MBBS, with Talash, and then Houseful. Like, he has done many, many roles. So I guess what made you choose Nawazuddin Siddiqui for this role?
It's been a dream to work with him. He's one of the people that one feels as an artist. So there are, in the world of film, also in Bombay, there is the very commercial side of filmmaking, and then there are what are often called the Yari Road gang, which is like there's a certain area in Bombay which is called Yari Road, and there are people who
Okay.
live around Andheri and that area, and what you would call the left of center or liberals. I don't know what else to call them, but it is a certain lot of people
Yeah.
who make a certain kind of cinema, generally are critical of every government, not just the current government, but every government, and
Yeah.
speak freely about what needs to be spoken freely about. So, because Nawaz Saab is from that side of the fence, so it's always been a dream to work with him. Also, the kind of work he's done, it's not easy for an actor or anyone in this very, very commerce driven industry to make a body of work which has art at the center of it. So I didn't really choose him like that. I mean, he just, it's like I proposed and he said yes. It's like that.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to choose him. He's like Gary Oldman, or he's like going to De Niro or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, of course. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Nawaz, sir. I think he's an amazing, versatile actor, like I've described. So, talking about the film, and I think the film seems to go beyond acting, right? So, it's like meditation, authenticity, all that. So, how would you define acting and versus being? How would you define that?
I think they're very much the same thing. Just being present in that moment and being able to react to that stimulus. I don't think there is any acting without a stimulus. And so you just have to be in that moment and react to that stimulus, which is very often when, as a filmmaker, people send you their reels or they send you their scene work, and the person giving them cues is a bad actor, or then they can't be good actors because the cue has to be felt. The cue also has to be as felt as your performance. So it is a stimulus driven situation. Uh, and so acting and being are the same thing only, in my mind. They're not different.
So, talking about the film itself, I know that the film consists of, them meeting together online and they take acting lessons online. So, how did that come into your mind where, some people may think that doing things online may be gimmicky? So, how did you manage to overcome that obstacle to not make that?
They were just very present in every moment and they were being very honest to the circumstance of the scene. And so I didn't have to do anything. It just felt genuine. Then, of course, you nudge and you modulate things as a filmmaker to push it to a zone which you think is better. That, of course, we would have done between 10 to 17, 18 takes on every scene that we did, or because technically also there would be so many mistakes from it on a technical point of view.
Yeah.
Network might go off, the camera might shift a little here. There were 4 cameras, 2 here, 2 there. It was raining in one city, not raining in one city. We were in the
Yeah.
middle of traffic in one city. People were walking on the roads. So there was a lot of technical stuff to be sorted. And so many times because of a technical difficulty or an error, you would have to do a retake. And many times because I felt the performance could go deeper. So that's the job. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, because when I saw the film, I mean, I felt like it was real, right? I can relate to that film. And I'm very confident that the people who watch the film will feel the same way.
Thank you. I hope so.
So do you think that with Bollywood today, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's not as glamorous or it's not as, has that hard dialogues like a Shah Rukh Khan dialogue or anything like that. So do you think that somewhere along the lines with Bollywood itself, I think we need to see more of that, you think?
I think there have always been two Bollywoods.
Yeah.
There's one that has what used to be called parallel cinema. So there are three, I think. There's parallel cinema, slightly slower, slightly more serious topics, less music, more understated performances, reflects what's going on in society a lot more. And then there is the commercial escapist fanfare, spectacular cinema.
Yeah.
Then there's the third, like a Lapata Ladies, which is a middle of the road cinema.
Yeah.
I think our film is a middle of the road film. I just
Yeah.
think that there is a middle of the road cinema as well.
Yes.
That has realism, but also has some poetry to it, and also has some dramatic element to it. It is high drama in some sense, even though it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I feel the film is very solidly a middle of the road film. It's not parallel and it's not commercial. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I mean,
it's engaging.
Yeah.
You could see it with your family. Most people in the family might be engaged. And so in that sense, again, I feel that it's, that's also why we're doing a theatrical release in India as well. Now we have one in the UK on the 7th of November, and then we have one in India in February. Because I feel that it's a film you can see with your family and you can see as a community in a theatre.
So talking about the film further, how would you say you approached balancing film's realism with its philosophical undertone?
I think you can't do that consciously. It just either happens or doesn't. I didn't do anything consciously. If you felt that there was a philosophical undertone, it was just there and it happens to be.
Yeah, I mean, the reason asking is because I feel like with the film itself, it's defying reality. I feel that with the film, it shows us that it's just normal. Like we all are acting, as you can say. So I guess, how would you define acting as a filmmaker? Or after making I'm Not an Actor?
I think just as you said, being able to be present in that moment, being able to react honestly to stimulus and to stimuli, and being naked emotionally. That's all.
Because I feel like with Chaturangada Satarupa, she was very much like that. I feel like she grasped that raw emotion and, like you said, being like nakedly emotional, like in the film, and I could see that. And she was really, really good at doing that. So with her character, like when you were thinking about the film, creating the film, did you think of Chitrangada when you were making it, or did you made the character and you felt like she fitted into that she fitted into that slot?
Yeah, it was just a character written and then she did a great audition. That was it. I don't fix anyone in my head normally. Even Nawaz was not fixed. I had just written a script.
Oh, okay.
And then I thought that, okay, this is the person I should take it to. It's after you write it, then you think about that. Yes.
Now, talking about the theme and the audience connection to the film. So it's a fascinating cross-cultural between India and Frankfurt, right? So the performance meets introspection, I feel, with that film. So what message do you want to send your global audience, and what do you want them to take away from this film?
I generally don't have any message that I particularly want to give, not consciously at least. But I do hope that it makes people want to, or at least it makes people reconsider having much closer and more intimate human relationships with people. Because that I think we all need a lot more of. We're all figuring it out in modern day life, but the need is very, very apparent. And because we're in a time where we put a lot of labels on each other, I think it becomes more difficult to really deeply connect. and our lack of trust of each other is then complicated with labels. So you have a lack of trust. For example, if you meet someone on a date, any behavior that fits some box of labels in one's head, our mistrust coupled with that creates an immediate label. And it's very difficult for people to get to that second meeting only, even on a date. It wasn't that difficult earlier because when I was younger, we didn't have that many labels. There were pros and cons of that as well.
Yeah.
But like that, I feel that, for example, you sit in a taxi, you see an elderly taxi driver. If he's behaves a certain way, we would label him as patronizing, for example. So the terms come really fast, and then that person is stuck in that term. Then you're not able to see them as a human being for long enough. And I think that we live in a time when also then there are screens, and we are so used to connecting via screens and not in person.
Of course.
And all our social anxieties are multiplied because we have less and less experience of meeting people in person. So all that, I think we live in a time when we're very connected but very disconnected. And I hope the film makes people reconsider having more intimate equations in their life.
So I guess the narrative feels like intimate yet universally relatable, right? And that's what I took away from the film. So how do you maintain a balance between scientifically and universally telling, like, of storytelling? Like, how would you define that, like, in the film?
I think we made it a very personal film about two people. It is already intimate because it's just about two people. And it goes really deep into both what makes them tick. Their psychology, their childhoods, what they feel for, what kind of human beings they are, what they hold dear in the world. And it's universal because it could be any banking city, it could be anyone who's done a 9 to 5 job, it could be anyone in the finance sector, and it could be a novelist or a painter, and it happens to be an actor. It could be anyone from the arts, anyone from the corporate sector. And so I find that the film is universal because it represents both sides of the coin. So anyone from the corporate sector would be able to relate to his character, to Nawaz Saab's character, Adnan, and anyone from the arts would be able to relate to Moni. Anyone, for example, in any big city. If you show someone in London the film, like you were there at the screen, most of them were white people actually. And you still had them really relating to it and feeling strongly for it, which has been really interesting. Even when he showed the film at CineQuest in San Jose, about 300 people in that audience were white. And the lady who came to do the Q&A had tears in eyes. So it's been like that. I hope that it continues like that people end up feeling strongly for it.
Yeah, no, because it definitely did. I think there was one scene that I remember watching the film with Nawaz. I think he nearly brought me to tears. I mean, I don't want to give too much away because I want people to watch the film. There was a particular bit where I was like, oh my God, that it was very emotional.
Thank you.
And I could relate to that with Nawaz. So it was great. I think with Nawaz, and I think we did touch upon it when we met each other at Bradford International Film Festival, is about, people, like, say, I remember Akshay Kumar giving an interview where he said that, he did a bit of improvisation in, I think in Bhagam Bhag. Did you face that in the movie where, Nawaz maybe forgot one dialogue and said something else and it worked in the film? Because it happens, right, in Bollywood. We're all human. So did that ever happen?
No, I actually encourage improvisation. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And I also keep changing the dialogues in every take. So the actor has his hands full. Like he has to deal with new dialogue in every take. So I'm throwing more improvisation at him than he's throwing at me. And that was really nice because he's really good with that.
Yeah.
Many actors would not be good with changing dialogue so much, but Nawaz Saab was great with it. And once I realized I can do that each time. And then every take is fresh because they're not saying the same lines. So we changed something or the other in the dialogues in every take. And sometimes I would give him a new page like that and he would catch it like that. It would take like a minute for him to memorize a whole page of dialogue. He's really good with that.
Really? So he's
been around really long, no? He's from an older school of acting. So they take lines very seriously.
Yeah, of course.
New people, unfortunately, come in very unprepared. And then their mind is stuck with those lines, and then because they're so conscious of the lines and forgetting them, that then you can't make them have fun. But he's so good with his lines that then you can really push him around here and there because the lines are down pat.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing. Because each dialogue, when I even saw in the movie, that each dialogue was really moving. Even when either Nawaz sir was saying it, or even Chitrangada, sorry, was saying it as well. I can feel like they weren't just acting; it was just happening. We all were witnessing it. So I
I'm saying
think
thank you
that,
like I acted. I mean, thank you on their behalf. They did really well. They're good. They're really good actors. They
yeah.
put their heart and soul into the film.
So obviously India loves Nawazuddin Siddiqui, right?
That's why I've seen that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think after this movie, they'll fall in love with you as well, sir, and I'm confident that they will. But having a name like Nawazuddin Siddiqui associated to this film, I think it gives a very heavy weight. And, you know, people who come to watch this film, like my father, he's a big Nawazuddin Siddiqui fan. You know, he always tells me, and I promise you, he is going to watch this movie first day, first show. So, did that also play in your mind as well when you were casting him for the film?
Uh, I'd actually gone to him with another script,
Oh, okay.
which was, to my mind, like my tribute to Ijazat as a film, which is a film about divorce. Uh, and then, due to certain circumstances in his own life, professionally, he wasn't able to do that script.
Yeah.
Uh, but then he said, I would love to work with you because I've read the script and I really like it. And based on that, I would like to work with you. So, is there anything else that you're working on? So, this was what Hollywood calls the back pocket option, which is something I did a while ago. And then, in my mind, the minute he asked that question, is there something else you're working on? And I was like, yeah, there's a film in which a guy learns how to act. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a lot of fun with him, because the minute I put that on the poster, or for people also, that's an interesting way to see him, for people who like seeing him as an actor. And immediately he was excited by the idea. So it was a very easy. This idea, the minute it met Nawaz Saab, everything flowed really fast and easy.
That's really cool. I mean,
Sometimes it takes months and years to make things happen, no? But in this case, it happened quite fast.
yeah, no, I mean, that's good to know. Like he just वो फटाक से मान गया, as you can say.
हाँ,
Like
बहुत जल्दी हो गया. उसके
वो
बाद
जल्दी.
उनके वो 2 लाइन की कहानी सुनने के बाद चीज़ें बहुत फटाफट आगे बढ़ने लगी.
That's,
जैसे आम तौर पे होता है कि साल लग जाते हैं, वैसे नहीं था.
that's really good. That's really good. Also, I know that I don't know if many people know this, but the producer is actually your wife, Shweta Chabria,
Yes, that's true.
a partner, Shweta Chabria Kripalani, and then Nawaz himself was actually the
Yes,
producer.
him and his brother Faizuddin Siddiqui Saab.
Yeah, and then I think there was another producer in the film as well.
Yeah, we have a couple of producers who come on board
Yeah.
in the last couple of months to help us release the film. There's
Okay.
Naveen Shetty, there's Samita Shetty, there's Sanjeev, there's Paritosh, and now there's, in all probability, a friend of mine called Jatin. So these are people who've come on board because we have to do a theatrical release. We think the film deserves a theatrical release. So they've come on board to partner up and help with that.
So I think talking about,
And
you
there's
know,
also Aman, who's handling the entire UK release for Reelin.
Yes. A big shout out to Amin. I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah,
She's
she's
a fab
amazing.
person, man. She's
Yeah.
a powerhouse.
She is. She's really amazing. I mean, I love her. She's just been
Yeah, I
so
love her too.
kind.
She's a very cool person.
Yeah. So obviously, and also yourself, you've produced the film as well. So I guess as a producer, like taking a step away from director just for a minute,
Of
but
course,
as
please. I play a large role nowadays as a producer.
yes, exactly. So as a producer, what was that moment when you knew that this project had to be made, right? Regardless of the risks, the challenges you may have faced.
I think when we got Nawaz Saab on board, I felt that it's a very viable project as well. Uh, now when you say producer, I use the word project. Otherwise, I hate it as a filmmaker. But once Nawaz Saab came on board, and then also he agreed to co-produce it, and he didn't charge a rupee for the film. So then it suddenly became a very viable film, because we anyway were going to make it for a very limited amount of money. We're going to make it indie style. So that plus having a Nawaz Saab on board, I thought makes it a very viable film, and its universality as a story.
Yeah.
I feel you could make this film in Hollywood, you can make this film in English,
Yeah.
you can make this film in French, and shoot the film in France with an actor and a banker. So I think the core premise is very universal, and it's also rooted in the way the characters are in their predicament in Bombay and in. But it's also technically, it's like Before Sunrise is a universal premise.
Yes.
Boy meets girl on a train. I mean, DDLJ, Same year, 94 Before Sunrise comes out, 95 DDLJ comes out.
Yeah.
Not of course only the first half has some reflections of Before Sunrise, but
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I mean, how did you and Shweta and everyone? How did you guys collaborate creatively? Like, were you I know you said that you were more involved as a producer. So how did you come creatively together? Like, Oni, is it more artistic side? Was it more strategic? Like, how did you
so
guys come together like that?
Shweta normally is the first person who reads the script after I've written it,
Okay.
and she has a perspective on it which I really trust. She has a very high EQ as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and she's quite instinctive with human beings as well. Like sometimes मैं बहक जाता हूँ when I meet people. I might get confused about who they are and I don't see their patterns, but I think she's quite instinctive about people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so her first reaction on the screenplay is always important, and she really liked the screenplay when she read it the first time. And she doesn't give feedback as a creative individual per se, but just as a human being, like an audience member reading a script. So that was the start of her involvement, and from then onwards, when we met Nawaz also for the first time, she was there, and he has a very separate equation with her. He's very fond of her as a human being and as a producer, separately aside from me. And he brought his children to stay with us after the shoot got over for 1 month.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple of months after the shoot got over, him and his son and daughter came and stayed with us, Vishwata and me, for a month. So he feels
Nice.
for her as a human being as well. I think he sees us as family. I don't like to speak for him, but he said it multiple times and he behaves like it as well. So it is I do care about him a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's mutual.
Of course.
So yeah, that's where it's at.
No, that's beautiful, and
Very personal film for me also, because I really want the film to do well. It's like a gift to someone you looked up to, and had a chance to work with. And Chitra feels the same way. Chitra has been a fan of his. I've heard her multiple times in the past when someone's asked her who her favorite actor is. She has mentioned Nawaz Saab in the first name,
yeah.
and so it was really when she literally won the film via the audition. She was very very happy, and he never treated her as anything other than an equal. Every day, never, not for a second. In fact, in some interviews, he said that when he saw her capability of performance, he said, "Nawaz, pull your socks up and do your best." It's that he can be that humble at times. He said this in some interview recently.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, because I think I was going to ask that, like for Chitarangada, when she heard that she's going to be playing opposite Nawazuddin Siddiqui, like what was her first reaction when you?
it was really happy. It
Yeah.
was really over the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. And also, we didn't let them meet at all. So when they
Oh.
met when they see each other in the film for the first time. That's when they met, and they were online.
Okay.
So they met as characters. And whenever, if she was being very harsh on him sometimes, which she had to be as a character, she would start apologizing and I would immediately cut the call. Because I didn't want any of that. Just like, just stay in character. It's okay. He's a professional. No need to apologize.
Yeah, I think because when you see
So
someone,
she whips him. It's like a bit of whiplash then, no, in the film.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because yeah, I think that happens when like a senior actor is saying it like in front of you. You're like, this is the dialogue. This is how you have to behave emotionally,
Yeah.
and then afterwards you're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it.
That's true. That was happening.
No, that's fine. So
You know, in a strange incident,
yeah.
when Nawasa finally met her later, after the film, when he met her for the first time in person, he went to touch her feet because she's taught him acting in the film. And of course, he was mucking around. But it was really funny. We have it on video somewhere. She was really shocked. She didn't expect that at all. She was anyway so nervous about meeting him because she had to be so harsh to him in the film. And then his first instinct was to go to touch her feet.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That is actually quite funny. So when talking about as a filmmaker, right, how has this film evolved you? Do you think it has evolved you?
Every film pushes you forward in your journey, for sure. I think the film and the experiences I've had on it have done two things. They've made my boundaries with the right people get relaxed more, and with the not so right people get firm more. I think that
Yeah.
has been a big learning via this film.
So we're talking about the film and the release, which is 7th of November in View and Odeon cinemas, right? In selected cinemas. I mean, definitely I have watched the film, but I would love to watch it again. I mean, I was in love with that.
Thank you.
You know, I will take my family, and I encourage everyone in my FilmyBaat family to go.
Thank you.
But so how would you measure success? Like in the film, like I'm Not an Actor, for example, is it, how would you like to say, like, is it commercial? Is it like, would you say acclaimed, or would you say the audience connection or personal fulfillment? How would you measure success?
Fair. A large number of people watching the film. That's important for me on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we finally made a film, like my last film was about a suicide prevention center. It's, I think, a very solid film, but it's a dark subject. Whereas with this film, I feel that there are many light moments, and it's a much more wholesome film, if I can use that term.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of things in it. There's a chance that people might cry. There's a good chance people will laugh.
Yeah.
There's a good chance people will go home and think about some things, about their own lives, especially artists and corporate people who work in the corporate sector. So I think in that sense, it's got a lot going. There's a really nice song in it by Rabi Shergill as well, which I've not even spoken about anywhere yet, because I want to do something proper with it and announce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that. So I think it's a wholesome film, and I think it's the first time I've made a film that should be in a theatre.
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt that before with any of my films. This is the sixth one. So yeah, a lot of people watching it, and a lot of people watching it in a community environment, actually. That I'm really excited about this time. And because you saw it with a theatre full of people, and I thought
Yes.
that makes a big difference. You hear other people laughing, you hear other people sniffling and crying, and I think it just makes it a much more magical experience.
Yeah.
Because theatres are like temples where your social standing disappears and you all become one.
Yeah.
And I think our country needs more of that anyway, right now.
Definitely, definitely. I think there were moments where I think Nawaz sir has made me giggle a little bit. He did. I think it was how he was playing, at some points, how naive he was a little bit.
Fair.
So I think that
Agree.
made me giggle a little bit. It's just, yeah, like you said, Chaturanga was playing so harsh, and then he's being
Yeah.
so naive, and I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, again, like it is very emotional, connected film. So when you were shooting this film, and you had it like scenes where, you know, there was Hasi and then there was Gum, like how were you personally feeling that? Like when as behind the cameras, I know it may not be easy, but did you laugh at certain points? Did you get emotional at certain
Yeah,
points?
definitely. I did laugh many times in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm working with Nawaz. See, Chitra, I know.
Yeah.
So Chitra I've seen 4 times in the past, as such. And yet, of course, she did surprise me many times, and I think she's gone much deeper. She's also grown as an artist and a human being. She's become an even more beautiful human being than what I knew in Tikli and Lakshmi Bomb. She was already a very cool person when I met her in Tikli and Lakshmi Bomb in 2018. That film got released in 2018. But she's grown and become an even cooler human being. But Nawaz Saab I had not seen before. So I was more, I think I was more surprised by him time and again. And I did cry many times when they were performing. When Chitra does the scene about her childhood, I was moved to tears. When Nawaz Saab talks about his childhood and his mother,
Yes.
I was moved to tears. The ending makes me emotional each time. I think it's a very powerful ending,
Yes.
especially the last shot of the film, all of that. So I'm looking forward to see how people react.
I know the ending for me, and I think I spoke to you about this as well before. The ending for me got me, and I was like, मैं ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगी, obviously.
Yeah.
But
But do you feel it made you think about it when you went back home or later? Or was it something you just got over when the film got over?
no, it made me think in the sense that अब मैं ज़्यादा तो नहीं कहूँगी, but it made me think like, what happened next?
Fair.
That's what I was
fair.
thinking. I was like, क्योंकि वो जो moment होता है with Chaturanga, it was like, okay, but now what? You know?
Fair.
So it was क्योंकि what, obviously, like I said, it was just the way it was conveyed.
Of course, yeah.
I was like, okay, अब क्या? Like,
Absolutely, yeah.
like, okay, like, you know, like, so
Agreed.
it was like that kind of moment for me. So when I went back, because I was nearby, like in Bradford, I was in the hotel. I came back and I remember I called my mother and I said, Mom, I just saw this movie and it's so good. And I'm like, ending was like, up kya? Like,
Fair. I'm glad.
वो moment था मेरे लिए.
I'm glad.
So, and then talking to...
It leaves it a little more open to everyone feeling differently about it. I think that I like films like that,
Yeah.
where the pessimist takes something else and the optimist takes something else, and everyone's taking slightly different things from an ending.
Mm.
Yeah. Instead of me making it कि आपने पूरी बांध के मुंह में गिट्टी दे दी किसी
Yeah,
को, then
वही.
that's a,
But so talking about audience, what would you like the audience to take away from this film? Like, even like I'm speaking
have
about,
intimate relationships. That's
yeah,
all, and being more vulnerable and opening yourself up to people more, and forgiveness. I mean, without getting to it more, but yeah, just that part.
yeah, I think,
Being able to forgive.
हाँ, I think कहीं ना कहीं आजकल वो खो गया है कहीं, you know, forgiveness.
100%.
Yeah, so I do recommend, and that's the other thing I want to like push on is why people should watch it is like, yeah, like you said, just be kind, be forgiving, you know, well, like at the beginning of the film, you don't know what's happening until you dive more and more and more, and when you
Yeah.
see it, and it's on both sides, not just Nawasa, but I think even Chaturangada was facing a lot as well,
Yeah.
and it's seeing the two opposites, I feel, in character. Like, you know, one is very like, जैसे आपने बोला, very harsh or very like सख्त, जैसे कहते हैं, and then someone else being इतने नरम. So it was very interesting to see that dynamic between the two.
Yeah.
Would you say that that was also how you want the audience to feel as well? Is the dynamics?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that the man has a very strong feminine, and the woman has a very strong masculine.
Mm-hmm.
I find that also quite interesting in the film now when I see it, because now I see it as a viewer more often. So that's also something I like. That, or let's say, conditioned feminine and masculine, because meaning there is, I think it's debatable whether any attribute is masculine or feminine, but based on millions of years of conditioning, uh, some attributes or some traits feel more a certain way, and I think both of them have both. So they're both in some sense non-binary, at least for me. They're very fluid as people, and I feel that their gender doesn't weigh in as heavy as it might in other films or stories. They're more just humans. I mean, you can see that, yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely it makes sense. I mean, after watching the movie and how you're like what you're saying to me, it definitely makes sense because I see that in the characters when I see that in the film. And like I said, we need more realistic cinema. And you know, like I said, I could relate to it. So if you had to sum up, right, I'm not an actor, how would you sum that up? How would you describe the movie to the audience?
Uh, it's an acting workshop across two countries on a video call, shot live, and you move around both cities through the film. But it ends up becoming much more than just acting, I think. It becomes just about intimate human relationships. And the nice thing that I like about the film is that it's not a romance. So it doesn't go into that cliche territory. I think men and women can have relationships way beyond romance.
Yeah.
And I like that the film explores that as well.
Yeah, I think you're right because it's not like a typical romantic movie. It is like about two people
Yeah,
who
there's no romance technically in
there's
it.
no
But
exactly.
there is mentorship, there is a student-teacher relationship, there is a friendship of some sort, they are catalysts in each other's lives. Yeah, and that's it.
Uh,
So, and I like that.
Definitely.
Although it's so easy to go for the, like, if you go to if I'd gone to a studio, or if I'd gone to a production company, a commercial production company, they would force a romance into the film, and
Yeah.
that's something we've just not gone for at all. We've stayed clear of any of it.
And it's clearly reflected in the movie. So I think to ask about the movie as well, like, and as like a producer and a filmmaker about I'm not an actor. So what was I guess when I talk about the transformative journey about the film, was there any particular moment where you felt like yes, maybe I should do it like more like this, or maybe like the difference between the creative writing and then how it was portrayed, or how it was portrayed for you in behind the cameras? Did you have that moment?
No, we stuck pretty much to the script, but we just kept changing dialogue. That's
Yeah.
all. So I think even the improvisation would have been at max 20%. 80-85% was the screenplay as it was. So there was no great deviation from it.
I mean, it's amazing, the movie, and I really loved it. And like I said, I will encourage every single one of
Thank
them
you.
to watch it. And
Kind.
I do hope and pray that this becomes a blockbuster for you and very, very
For Nawaz
successful
Saab, for Shweta, for Chitra, yeah,
for
for
everybody.
Anuradha, everyone.
Yeah, everyone like who's, you know, kahin na kahin wo jud gaye is film mein. I wish you and everyone all the very best.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, sir, can you give a shout out to FilmyBaat UK?
Of course. Where do I look? Is it there? Thank you, FilmyBaat. It's been a really nice time coming to London and doing this podcast. It's my first podcast, official podcast in London. So thank you. Memorable.
Thank you so much, sir. And also, I guess there's just one more thing before I let you go. Is there any future plans that you want to shoot in London, or can we expect something else from you?
There's a film that I've written called Father Like, which is a father-daughter film, which I want to make in London,
Okay.
in English.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I want to try to do at some point. I don't know when I'll get to it, but the screenplay is ready, the deck is ready. We're just trying to figure out logistics.
No, I'm looking forward to that as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to any film you're making, to be honest.
Kind. Thank you.
So yeah, no, thank you so much for taking your time out for
Thank
this podcast, and truly, I really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay subscribe, FilmyBaat family. We'll be back.